Blessings, beautiful beings. This video is for anyone who knows someone who has taken their own life, who has had suicidal thoughts, or that has affected you in any single way. My name is Phoenix Martineau, and I'm your messenger of love for the day, your guide to personal freedom and peace. And this topic can bring up some heaviness. You know, even putting in the heading of this topic here, suicide, I had to double think it and think, politically some people say to take one's own life. But I want you to know that anyone who's had suicidal thoughts and negative thoughts you're not alone. You're not alone. I've worked with thousands of young men. I've worked with men and women. And I know people personally who have attempted to take their own life. I know people who have taken their own life. And first I want to start with myself. Whilst I've never been someone to take my own life or attempt to, I've had thoughts, negative, really dark thoughts, when I've been in dark places, like, what if I wasn't here? Nobody cares about me. All these kinds of things pattern through. And this is completely normal. It is completely normal. And how our brain works is we get thoughts triggered from an emotion, an energy that's running through our system that drives us to have thoughts. And when we attach to those thoughts, they will continuously play out. But actually what's driving that is an emotion that's stuck. For example, anxiety, is emotion that moves like this. When you're in peace, the energy moves slow and like this in your body. Depression, the energy moves like this, but it's very stuck energy. And what happens is this triggers thoughts. And when those thoughts become so overwhelming for us, so overwhelming, we think they are us and we think the world is ending in its darkness. And if you're someone right now who's in that space, or you know someone in that space, I want you to know that energy passes. And when we understand how our whole system is working, I want you to know there are so many solutions out there to have all of that be released, that there is a life that you can live where literally the thoughts that come into your mind karmically are so positive, are so powerful, are so abundant. And that doesn't mean life is always blissful and without pain. It takes work. It takes work. But we are so powerful. Our subconscious, you imagine we got a brain, it is 5% of our intelligence. Our body is what's called our subconscious. And this gives us most of the signals to our nervous system, our cardiovascular system, our neuro, all of it. When we learn the tools to alchemize and work with that, we change our whole reality. You would have heard this saying, our internal reality creates our external. So someone who's stuck in an external reality, in a relationship they don't want to be in, it's because their subconscious has manifested that. Someone who's stuck in a job that they don't want to be in, it's because their subconscious fear has manifested that. Someone who's living their dream in paradise and in flow, their subconscious manifested that. We're no different. No one is better or worse than any other person. They've just learned different tools and skills to be able to shift and play with their internal reality to create their external reality. And to be able to create any change in our life. If you're in darkness, if you know someone that needs support, the first step is to recognize with vulnerability we need support and we're not alone. We are social beings. And that means asking for support. There are I don't know everything about the world. There are so many people I go to ask for support on all kinds of things. And some are experts in food, and some are experts in the brain, and some are experts in this. Speak to someone who is an expert in your psychology and emotions and that space. And having personally worked with people that have attempted to take their own life, I know that there is so much shame carried with that, so much. Difficult to talk to your family about it, you constantly hide it, you're ashamed of yourself, you feel wrong. And the step through that is to start talking about that, to create safety. Because people get all a bit touchy and it's a bit heavy on that topic. So you need to be the courageous one to make that okay to talk about. You know, I worked with a beautiful, beautiful client. And when he opened up that space to have that conversation with his family and friends, wow, they were so relieved, because they were always so concerned about him and worried about him, but they didn't know how to open up the conversation. They were too scared. They didn't want to bring up that wound. And now their relationship is more free and more open. And the thing for him, it's like taking out the rocks in his consciousness. He is now just free to be himself, move on from that, because his past reality has nothing to do with his future or who he is now. That's just, we create stories and we keep looping them. This is what we call the healing process. And we all have trauma. It doesn't matter how beautiful someone's life has appeared, someone how successful they are just on a financial, we are all carrying trauma. It is the function of being a human being. We all have subconscious beliefs. It's the function of being a human being. I'm not good enough. I'm not worthy. I don't belong. I'm powerless. When we go deeper and deeper beyond psychology, psychology is important, it's a first step, but we go beyond nutrition, which is impacting our gut, which is changing our thoughts, and you keep going and going and going, you get to the place of emotional intelligence and you get to a place of spirituality. And this is where we deal with the root cause of our diseases, our illnesses, our attempts on our own life, negative thought patterns, our subconscious. So I want to leave this message for you. Be vulnerable, reach out for support, ask for help, and then learn to master and alchemize your subconscious, your energetic system. Because you are not alone, and we are all better together. We are stronger together, we're more connected together, we live with more gratitude together, we learn more when we're together. Together we can create much more than we can create alone in our own silo. Sending you many blessings today. Be peace, be freedom, be love, and most importantly, be 100% authentically you, which means show up in all of it, your shame, your guilt, your fear, your darkness, your love, your gratitude. Be 100% authentically you. Blessings, blessings, blessings.